Thragtusk is at the door, is there a window or is the door fully aligned with the wall? Is there a crack he can look through?
There is a crack he can look through, and as you do, your half-orcish eye peering through into the morning light, that almost immediately dries up the wetness of your eye. You see a woman there, standing with one fist sliding across the wood. Slowly it reaches the middle, and then she repeats the process. It's an elderly woman, ratty brown hair. She looks dirty, but no more dirty than any other commoner you've seen in a small town or a large city. But her eyes are empty.
Yeah, what do you want?
I heard a commotion in there.
Yeah,
Is something
Rowan the
matter?
dumbass and dropped the bottle.
That's all that happened?
I mean, the bottle broke.
Oh. That's too bad. Be more careful in the future, wouldn't you?
I can assure you, we will be more careful in the future.
Very good. She ambles away.
Would it be appropriate if I were to follow her? Or do you want me here?
Where's the cart?
Well, we left it outside. It's maybe still there. And if the cart is still there, then we just leave.
Yes, let's do that.
Thragtusk, can you see the cart?
Thragtusk peers his orcish eyes. There's the window by the door, yes? No? Or does Thragtusk have to open the door?
There are windows, but they're up high.
Thragtusk will open the door to look out for the cart.
As you slide the wooden barricade aside and open the door, track marks in the snow where once a cart had been lead off to the east.
No cart. No cart.
Well, that's no big deal.
Let's go get the cart.
We can follow the trail.
We follow the trail.
We can go quick. I could probably transport one of you quickly, at least.
What of the injured?
Who goes where?
I will stay here with the injured. I will be their protector. I'll make sure no one comes through the door and that this Charles individual doesn't hurt us anymore, Rowan. But you all go after the cart, and we'll be here. I'll start the fire. I can start a fire at the very least. I remember that from my younger days. And when you're back, we'll jump in, hightail it out of here as fast as we can, and meet Gordon back in Gordon's Bridge. Perfect plan. I love it.
You
Are
surprised
you sure
me.
you don't want at least one of us here with you?
Oh, well, if you want one of you here with me, I wouldn't mind. I mean...
Speaking of Thragtusk, what were you going to say?
I was just surprised at your bravery.
It is of no matter to me. I have my family heirloom.
You make this very difficult.
Oh, shush now. Rakan, come now. At least believe in me this one time.
It may be the last.
Well, if this is your battle, then I am glad to fight by you. We must get the cart.
Very good.
Someone should check upstairs to make sure you're the only ones here. Maybe?
Okay. All right. I will do that right now.
Right. So, should we?
Oh, you
Okay, we'll go. Should we go? Let's go.
We're burning daylight.
All right, yep,
No.
I'm going.
I'll follow
Shit.
Ragtusk out.
And we're off.
And as the rest of you flow out like a river into the frozen town of Poacher's Crest, following the tracks, nice and new tracks, easy to catch up with. They flow out east.
I will leave them. I will leave them all a good berry.
Perfect.
So that's 7 good berries. I still have 3 more in my pocket.
And as you go east, you see a couple other carts. Some covered, some not, but all in various disrepair. Axles missing, holes through their planks, or stirrups or leather completely gone. None of them salvageable at this point. The tracks lead east, then south across a bridge, a small river, further southeast. And as you look back, Thragtusk, who's in the back from this little angle that wasn't on purpose, as Thragtusk looks back, you see all the houses with burning chimneys, and in front of them, each one of the houses, a person standing at the door as they look on.
Haste is our ally of the moment. Let us go.
Hmm.
And as you fly further southeast into denser forest, up atop a hill, you see a manor, a dark, snow-covered manor. And that's where we'll take a little break.
Okay.
All right,
Good
I
job,
will be
everybody.
back.
Tonight's session brought to you by Dwarven Forge.
Dwarven Forge! The keyword is Thragtusk. Type in Thragtusk into the chat, and you can get a new mini.
If you successfully guess where the hyphen goes, you can get a special discount.
It's actually Thragtusk. Sorry, everybody. Nobody got it. You come upon the manor after a tenuous walk through the trees, up the path, up this winding
Walk,
harrowing...
where is your sense of urgency? We're hoofing it.
We're hoofing it. Okay, you guys are crunch, crunch, crunch through the snow. The tracks in front of you are fresh. The wind isn't strong, and there is no snowfall. It's easy to find and follow. There's not a large amount of footsteps around you. And as you follow them up, the cart, and you finally come to the manor, and the cart is situated in front of it to the left. There are 2 entrances you see, and a long cliff behind it, into a lake that is formed. It's frozen over, but then the river continues further south.
While the need to get out is great, any food we do get would go such a long way.
What are you proposing, Thragtusk?
Even one sack of barley that we can procure from the whatever is going on before we leave would be a great victory.
Are you suggesting entering the manor?
That might be necessary to do that task, and perhaps that risk is too great, but...
It's not much of a stretch to imagine that is the Lady Bassia's manor. And it's also not much of a stretch to imagine that if she was lying about the town's guards, a healthy portion of them would be there.
She did say she needs able bodies. Now, that puts it into a very different perspective, I believe.
Are there the horse with, I think it was a mule. Is there the mule with the cart?
The mule is gone. there is a ruined stone building to your south that may have contained something or another. It's impossible to tell how many floors this outbuilding had at one time, but it looks like underneath the snow as you approach, the stones are scorched down to its foundation. And the east has a 4-foot wide stone well. It's also partially collapsed.
Can we see the tracks from the mule or whoever was leading this cart, or did it just seem to disappear?
They look like they are crunched into the snow leading up into the front door.
Mule going inside the front door. Rowan just shakes his head in bewilderment.
Rowan, do you think we could, if need be, take the carts back? I am not the man I once was. In my youth, I could do it alone, but now,
If it's possible, I'll certainly try, and I'll step up to the cart and briefly test its weight.
Is everything inside?
It looks as if the cart is now empty. And as you are lifting the cart, it creaks under your might, and you pick it up. It's heavy. You are straining. Your muscles have known war, combat, and hard labor and work. And perhaps in time, if as long as it didn't run you over on the way down, you could do it.
Alright then. Agari Raka, keep watch behind us. This is gonna be rough.
well,
You don't suppose I should try knocking?
I don't know. This is beyond me. I was gonna say something that sounds smart, but no, I don't know. If I was alone, I would probably knock down the back door.
No. Technically, they haven't showed us any reason to be worried.
Raka, where's our stuff?
I meant physical harm. They
Raka,
took us.
is starvation physical harm?
I would
This is
agree
true.
that starvation is physical harm.
Yeah,
This is-
yeah, Agari
this is true.
agrees. That makes it
I will
right.
concede. I concede my point. Eh,
Maybe, are there... You see any windows? Just this door here and a door here, I guess.
There are windows leading inside.
Did they say that our stuff is gone from the cart? It's empty.
Yes.
All right.
There's a window. There's 2 windows on the northern, jutting partition that are in between the tree, and then there's another that leads to the right.
All right.
That is.
All right. If I was them, I would know that the people whose stuff I stole would come looking for it, and I would prepare for it. Therefore, we cannot outwit what preparations they might have, so we should just get it over with. And Thragtusk is going to line up like he's going to run down the door.
you intend to spring the trap. Purposeful.
Well, we have to do something.
Should we look at a window first? I bet they probably... She knows we're here. Unless she thinks we're actually resting, which we told her we were going to do.
What if she's just completely oblivious?
Well, then in that case, the door shouldn't be that hard to remove.
This is
Briefly.
true. I will stand back. You do that.
Agari, before we attempt this, you were quite the hustler back in that last town. Do you think there's any way you could come up with a convincing lie to deal with Bashi and get our stuff back non-violently before we start?
Honest, I sometimes get to be a smooth talker, but I'm not totally versed in that. It happens. But I feel like with her stealing the cart and the donkey and the supplies, I'm not sure she wants us alive or taken care of. I thought maybe if she somehow had this town of weird undead followers that didn't cause any harm. I mean, we did the first harm, let's be honest, but she did take our cart, so yeah, let's break down that door. You got it.
All right.
I will
on
stand
three.
back.
And Rowan counts off the 3.
As Rowan and Thragtusk take off, faster than you've seen some messengers, and smash into the door. Timber breaks open and splinters fall to the side as both doors slam into the walls to the left and right, and an echoing boom flows down the hall as Thragtusk and Rowan stand on their feet, almost falling over, and they're welcomed by the smell of rot and decay. Sagging
Rowan
plaster
tries to
walls around them. And as finally the doors echoing silences, you can hear the sound of the house straining and creaking. This high-ceilinged room you're in right now gives that additional sense of age and decay. It's damp in here, not frozen. There's mold lacing the air, surely as it stains the wooden floor, the walls, and the furniture.
Thragtusk will kind of shake his shoulder and, run the shield off its strap onto his arm. And then he'll lean down and I guess start inspecting the floor, see where the most trafficked route through this decayed, dying house is.
Rowan will listen to see if he hears any footfalls anywhere in the house coming to run after we broke open the door.
Thragtusk is leaning down to check the floor.
This is a dying, decaying house. And as nature reclaims the halls of man, it will be downtrodden as those that traffic it. Let's say if there's a door that, hasn't been opened in 10 years, nature will have reclaimed it and it will be covered. Whereas if there's a hallway someone walks daily, there will be a trail through the muck. And this is far beyond what Thragtusk normally works with, but he's hopeful that he can transfer his skills and knowledge from more familiar terrain to this nightmarish dying house.
As you are looking along the ground, searching for signs of passage, signs of wear, you do see a trail, and it leads off to the east into maybe a dining room, perhaps. And then Rowan was listening for footsteps. As he listens, the creaking of the house and the gentle wind outside, if there were any footsteps, they are awfully quiet. There's no sounds of alarm, no one running to your position. What was Raka going to do?
Well, I was going to do something, but instead I will turn to Agari and ask, you tend to be familiar with this sort of overgrowth, yes?
What's going on in there? He peeks his head inside.
This seems to be your specialty. This mold overgrowth.
All right. Agari will.
My question is, how old do you think this is?
Well, from what I remember, the decay of the tree that I lived in that day, seen this one before.
I do question the motives. Why would someone who deals in undeath need supplies, I wonder?
Wouldn't presume
That's
to
a-
speculate.
And as you're all talking amongst yourselves, in front of you and around you are the moldering trophies hanging on the walls. One to your northeast. It looks like a boar, a bear, a fire pelt cougar, and a stag. Yet they all pair in comparison to the monstrous display in the center of the room. You see it, it almost takes away your breath. A crouching 12-foot-long creature with the body of a lion. Scorpion's tail fitted with dozens of razor barbs. Huge, bat-like wings. And a deformed humanoid face. And Thragtusk. On the tip of your nose, you smell burning hair, flesh. But then it's gone.
We must make haste. I believe they're deeper, and Thragtusk will move forward, and instead of going around the statue, he's just going to try and push it out of the way. Just not just walking by using one hand, just seeing if he can just knock this balanced act down, toppling down.
You're gonna topple it down as you touch it, this mold-infested trophy that's ages old. You thrust it to the side, and it goes tipping
The guard jumps back.
as it smashes down in a beautiful display of strength from Thragtusk. The room gets darker. The smell of burnt hair and skin becomes stronger. And something moves. And as you look down, Thragtusk, you see this manticore begin to move, come to life. It slithers along. Its fur erupting into flame, its tail striking forward against you. And if you could give me a real quick dexterity save, it should be fine. I don't know your dex save. Okay.
Thragtusk is not the man he once was.
Oh shit!
Oh God.
A 0. A 0.
Thragtusk saw his goal in front of him. He did not see what was directly in front of him. He wasn't even looking at the thing he pushed aside. All of his focus is where he needs to be. As he moves forward.
Is there any chance I can reflexively spring forward and stab this creature in the head?
And as Rowan jumps into position and Thragtusk sees this burning flame of an animal coming towards him with all its might and glory, Thragtusk hits him in the chest, and every single burning ounce of him is consumed, but then it's gone. Rowan in battle position, ready to take a hit. The dust has settled. The manticore still laying on its side. A stuffed mimicry of what it once was. Nothing there, nothing moving, no fire, no damage. Thragtusk is okay.
So he tipped it over, it burst into flames, and now it's not anymore?
Yep.
We all saw that, not just the one who touched it.
Yep.
That, not seen that before. Never. Let's not go touching things again. Are you okay? How do you
Smells
feel?
bad.
Gross. I don't like this.
Thragtusk will wipe his hand on his pants and I guess keep moving forward.
Shaken but not completely thrown off, Rowan will follow along.
This confusion, I feel, aggravates me greatly.
If it's
Let's- we do what we
confusing and you
must.
can't figure it out, don't worry about it.
Well, you've survived this long.
Well, it's just, if you could figure it out, you'd already know what it was, and thus there's no point in trying to do the impossible.
Alright then.
As Agari passes the patches of mushrooms, he's going to examine them a little closer and pick one and toss it in his satchel.
Alrighty. For further research later.
Yes, absolutely.
Mansion mushroom. Let's go.
I guess then Thragtus continues forward.
As you continue forward into the small space, there's a rather gruesome antique. To your north, a mummified monkey head, its tiny mouth hanging agape.
Yeah.
I am familiar.
A bell pull extends from the monkey's mouth, and beneath, a ratty throw rug partially obscures a foul stain of dark-colored mold on the floor.
Thragtusk is gonna kind of frown at the rug and just with his boot see if he can put it under part of the rug and flip it off the side.
Thragtusk easily flips the rug up, but then it doesn't cooperate and comes flying back down, and spores and dust fly up into the air. The smell of must becomes stronger, coats the inside of your mouth and throat. But then a second kick sends the carpet flying back. It's a sickly green and black mold that's growing in a spiral, swirling in a pattern of dark blue.
Upon the rise of the sun again, Gramash can cure me of any disease.
If you say so.
We'll push forward.
Drone covers his mouth with his arm and squints his eyes.
Can Agari listen at this door real quick as they go by?
You hear the air outside humming in the space between your eardrum and the door. This thick, moldy door that has grown and thickened, probably stuck in the doorway itself. But you hear nothing on the other side.
Very curious. I'll move on. Following the group.
Thragtusk travels further in. Doesn't give a fuck.
Blue spiral. Blue spiral.
As Thragtusk finally walks into
impossible
the...
for Thragtusk to be defeated, so why worry about that which isn't possible?
I'm starting to see flaws, but you know, c'est la vie.
You see a mahogany table surrounded by chairs. Twin fireplaces. Mahogany table with twin fireplaces looming to the west, while to the east stained glass windows obscure what could have been a breathtaking view of the lake, high above. Each window depicts a monster rising out of smoke, pouring from a seven-sided box. From north to south are depicted a gnarled tree with an enraged face, an immense hooked-beaked bird with sky blue and gold plumage, a winged centaur-like creature with a lion's lower body and a snarling woman's upper torso, and a deep blue squid-like creature with evil red eyes.
I hold up my glaive. Be wary. If that statue was a beast, I shudder to think what that might be.
It's very beautiful, I must say.
Thragtusk will give the table a wide berth. Mahogany's.
Foreboding. The most foreboding of all the wood.
Reminds me of the elves. And I will try this door down here.
It opens with a long, winding creak. And inside, You see two chairs. One lies on its side, before a stone fireplace. A scarf, its red and golds contrasting with the drab palette of the room, draped over the side of the fallen chair. A book sits face down on the floor between them. A stone bookend, carved to look like a praying angel with butterfly wings, lies on its side in the fireplace itself.
Thragtusk will move into the room. A chair on its side does not give him pause.
Does not instill fear in you, does it?
It is a library filled with cobwebs, and you see on the chair, the northernmost chair, a splash of blood.
There's books and a blood stain.
Books, you say?
I'll examine the titles on some of the books, see if it's anything I recognize, though I doubt it.
And real quick, if you could stop moving for 1 second.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
You're outside.
Roll initiative.
I'm back in this room. I'm sorry.
You die. You are dead. So,
Yeah.
as Rowan walks in, you see the scarf. You're almost drawn to it. And as you examine it and reach out for it, you hear almost only you hear this on the top of on the edges of your hearing. You hear a scream. It sounds far away and then grows in intensity until it sounds like it's right behind the back of your head, and the scarf comes to life. And if you, Rowan, could make a wisdom save for me as it begins to wrap around your throat and squeeze. And in front of you, you see a vision as you are now paralyzed with fear. You see a vision of someone using the scarf to choke you to death. A man in gold coat.
I will concentrate every aspect of my being and try and move my arms if I'm capable.
Make a constitution save.
Could I slide up next to him with the dagger in hand and try to cut the scarf?
I may not need you to.
As you stand stalwart against this vision, you take 11 points of damage. As the scarf goes tighter and tighter around your throat, you can feel your strength draining, the blood being cut from your brain, your vision going dark, and then finally Rakah cuts the scarf and it falls to the ground. And it stays lifeless, split in two.
You best follow your own advice and not touch things you do not know about.
His throat burning and too shaken to respond, Rowan merely glances at him.
Are the books a problem?
Yes, the books seem to be the problem.
Rowan, eat these. That'll make you feel a little better. And he'll hand you the 3 good berries, which give you 3 HPs.
Can I examine the scarf?
Of course. You lean down. The scarf that you have cut in two. It's deep red and golds weaved throughout it. It seems to be dry of any mold or dampness.
Are there any, runes, sewn into the scarf or anything like that?
There does not.
Tis about a scarf. A very lovely one. Perhaps I shall take it.
You should probably leave it here.
And why is that?
Because it just tried to kill someone. Maybe?
Well, it seems to be cooperating for the moment. Just keep an eye on my neck.
You know that,
my best.
Rakah, you would know as you're picking it up, this from your time with Fencase, that this scarf is probably, it's rather expensive. It's well made. It's almost a work of art itself.
Perhaps it shall be a gift to someone I do not like.
Stare at Rakat. There are entities in this house that we do not understand, and they want us dead.
Clearly. Can I peruse the books and see if there's anything worth taking, such as anything based on magic or, I don't know, myths?
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
I will do this.
Agari will flip over the upside down book on the ground with his staff. Let's see what that's about.
So, Rakah, you pick up a few books, and as you peruse the sections, you find a very interesting book. It's called The Phoenix Guards. It's a old fantasy book written by a man named Vladimir Taltosh.
Perhaps I shall read it in my spare time.
And Agari, you're flipping over the book that was face down between the chairs.
I'll use my staff, though, so I don't get strangled by a book. That'd be good.
I'd like to see that.
It looks to be some sort of journal, maybe ledger of some sort. It seems to be talking of their days, of their inner thoughts, personal feelings. It belongs to someone who was named Vorl. And as you are looking through them, you see a couple of entries talking of special shipments spread throughout. The recipients of these shipments is referred to by the initials TBG. You see the same initials every now and again. They happen every month on Moon's Day. There's a section about Vorl speaking about his scruples with the dealing of TBG, but knows that under his protection, his enemies will be hesitant to touch him.
And what do you have there?
Seems like something's been going on here with a man by the name of Vorl, and which I would assume is Our Lady's late husband. Which now I'm feeling like that might have been a lie. I don't know.
No, wait a second. Is that handwriting I see?
Yes, you are an expert in that, I would assume.
Yes.
Please
Did
take a
they
look.
sign it anywhere?
Yes.
Yes. All over.
Excellent. May I take a look at it?
Feel free.
Rakar will rip one of the pages out with the signature, many signatures, and keep one of the pages that look not important.
Perfect.
Perhaps we should take this book. I'm beginning to think. Some things, but perhaps we better investigate more.
Have you dealt with all of the evil books in there?
I
There's
think
blood.
so. There's a lot of books.
There's
a lot
blood
that
lots
could
of
be-
places. Alright, Thragtusk is satisfied that the evil books have been dealt with. He's gonna try this door.
Alrighty.
Rowan will go up to accompany him quickly.
It seems to be as you move it, it gives about half an inch, and then it sticks as wood scrapes against wood.
Yes! I was been waiting for this, and he will pull out his battle axe and just start putting it into the soft wood.
Crunch as he pulls it back. Crunch and crunch. Pieces of timber fall away and sharp splinters, and eventually it gives way down the middle. One long creaking groan as two pieces fall apart, a hole cleaved right down its center.
You do that very well.
Ah! Yes, the door is rotten and makes me look strong. Don't do that on a new door. But I was while the past door disappointed, this one did not, and Thragtusk will step into this room.
And you're in a dusty room. It has a long couch kinked with white sheets of wispy fungus. Eddies of dust skitter along the warped floorboards, as if caught up by a slight breeze. Yet no wind is noticeable.
Thragtusk
And
will frown at No Mule, and he will just holler into the house, Basea! You give us what's ours, we leave!
so you don't notice anything in this room as you stand in it. It's filled with mold and webs, but nothing else.
She probably doesn't go this way often if you had to hack the door down. Quite the
And as
show.
you pass over to this door, you get a brief flash of memory. It seems to be a woman's memory. You're in her mind. You are her for a second. You
Of
forget
course I
who
am.
you
I'm
are.
not Thragtusk.
Your memory is filled with worry about what your husband might be doing on those late nights spent in the basement. And then, finally, you feel that the child behind you, that Raka, your child, needs to be out of the house immediately. You need to leave. You
Why are
need
you looking at
to
me
escape.
like that?
Why are you still here? I told you to go!
Excuse me?
You need to drag him
Dear,
out.
come
You
on.
need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach over, I'm gonna grab you by... Did you put the scarf on around... Or do you have... Is that chain in the picture actually on you around your neck?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna reach for him to start pulling you out of the house.
And I'm standing in the doorway. Stardust barrels
I
into
start
me.
reaching
fall
for
onto the
Rowan
table.
and Agari as they're being dragged outside my wheel, very bewildered.
I can't believe you disobeyed me again.
Thragtusk, stop! Put him down!
All right, this time you realize what is happening. You realize what you're doing, and it falls away.
Ah!
You again.
You turn back and you see Raka pointing a quill at you as he casts Eldritch Blast.
And as an Eldritch Blast fires green energy mixed with purple light and hits the ceiling, and bits of dust and timber again splinter down, and dust fills and pervades the air, mixes with it completely.
Phew. Don't. Explain.
The spirits of the dead are strong. They're jealous of our bodies, but they cannot have them.
Well, they have you.
And her possession failed. The basement. She's afraid of the basement. That is where we should go.
Who's the woman?
I don't know.
Who's afraid of the basement?
The woman is.
That's what. Okay.
Well, I don't know who the woman is, but I know she was afraid. She thought you needed to escape, but it was wrong. But she's
Ricard
probably not
takes
wrong
his
about being afraid of the basement.
necklace off
The
and puts
basement.
it into his back.
Agari, Rowan, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes. So it wasn't Basia?
No, I don't know. spirits of the dead don't think in third person.
Rowan picks himself up off the table that Thragtusk knocked him into. Well, as someone who just survived an encounter with one of these things, I can understand. This woman did not try to harm you, but the man did. If these truly are spirits of the dead, perhaps this man is a murderer.
Damn. All right.
Simple spirits cannot just do this sort of thing regularly, can they?
They just did.
I'm asking if these are
this is why
normal
this is why you
circumstance.
bury the dead and give them proper rest.
I've certainly never experienced a circumstance such as this before.
All right. If I was a basement, where would I be?
I saw some stairs back here. They go up or down.
The northern stairs go down, while the southern ones go up. Where Rowan could not, you, however, hear the creaking of the floorboards and the thumping of feet, followed by the sounds of sobbing.
Do you hear that?
If I was hear what?
There's someone walking, or at least it sounds like someone is walking upstairs and crying right now.
Good. I would cry if I had to be in this house.
I see your point.
I have to agree.
We should probably still go downstairs.
I agree.
Yes, it's probably a ghostly entity anyway.
Dogtusk is gonna just take his hand and just kind of wipe it across his face, kind of slap himself a little bit. He expects better from himself.
Alrighty. Thragtusk first.
He would. Looks like Rowan's in front of the door, but if Rowan doesn't take initiative, Thragtusk will be the arrowhead of the spear. He'll be the point of the spear that breaks this ghastly fortress's defenses.
Now, Rowan will go ahead and go in. I didn't know that was the entrance to the basement.
Alright, Rowan's going first. And as Rowan, you descend into the basement. You almost trip over the stairs as the darkness is all-encompassing, suffocating down here. It almost takes your breath away, literally.
Aha. Fear not. I am the envoy of war in the storm. There is no need for darkness here. I will cast light on you.
I should be able to see, I think.
Halflings can't see.
Halflings don't have dark vision.
They don't have eyes. What are you talking about?
Really?
Not
it's
anymore.
gnomes that have dark vision. My fault.
All right, and then finally, you feel light upon your shoulder as it blooms out, and you simultaneously light your torch as a flame. Conflagration opens. And you're inside of what looks like an old, decrepit kitchen. Large oaken table, the surface covered with moldy stains and rat droppings, sits in the center. Shelves line the walls, and an oversized fireplace dominates the northeast portion. The shelves in the southwest wall are in much greater state of disarray, and 2-foot-wide cracks in the wall near the floor lead south into the earth, beyond the basement walls.
I'm guessing this basement was not even upkept during its time.
Well, let's see what's down here. Agari will check this door.
Brothers, as we go deeper down here, I do not know if this is where we will find our mule, but I know this is where we will find the source of this evil.
I truly hope so. That'll make it all easier to kill it.
Oh, it's dark
Well-
in here. Someone come with a light, please. Woo!
It is,
Didn't like that.
Yeah.
In here, 2 bunks stand in the room, relatively free of dust and mold. A single chair lies on the side between them.
another scary chair on its side.
Scary chair.
You see a rat scurry across the eastern wall into a tiny crack as it skitters away, chirping all the while.
That's a good sign. Why do you laugh? Where there is rats, there is food, and where there is food, there is our supply.
Unless they're eating other dead rats.
Not sustainable. I would know.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how it works.
Well, there could have been food, and then they moved in and multiplied, and then the food ran out. And now that the food's run out, they're eating each other until there are no more rats. And we've just encountered the tail end of the rats population before it dwindles into nothing.
As
Ugh.
charming as that thought
You
is,
should-
it's worth
you
a
should
look.
Write some poetry.
I don't think that was poetry. That was the what happens to a ravaged area with limited supplies and a festering rat population.
I see. Never mind. So 2 beds, huh?
A guy takes
You
a
don't-
closer look at the beds. They look like they may have been slept in recently.
You look over the dust and the spider webs. They look undisturbed. Your hand passes through the sticky mess that spiders once used to catch bugs.
So they've definitely not been used recently.
Why would there be beds down here, though? There were beds upstairs.
From what I can tell, perhaps this man was experimenting on something down here, and they needed test subjects. Yes.
What's the door look like? Does it seem like it's made to keep people in this room against their will?
Good question.
Yeah,
you look
you're
over the
you're
door.
you're the noble. You would know what that looks like. What is it?
As you look over the door, it looks to be a simple door with a simple latch. One that can lock if needed, but wasn't.
From the inside.
Yes.
Huh.
I'm going to lean on the
Peculiar,
door.
but
Sorry, I'm going to lean. I'm
ultimately-
going to lean on the door and make sure it doesn't slam shut by,
Scared of ghosts now, are we?
Considering one nearly strangled me to death, I am a little bit cautious, Rakah.
Humans in particular fascinate me.
Didn't you advise him to be careful with stuff that isn't understood?
That was the past.
That was okay. You know what? You're
That-
right. It was the past. Let
That
us
was the
go on.
ramblings of an
Let
idiot.
us go onward.
I tend to posit things that suit me at the time.
Thragtusk, I guess we'll move forward to this. If no one else is investigating anything, and he'll happily wait for that. He will move to this door, for we need our mule. We need supplies. We need something. We don't want to die in the snow. People are counting on us. Okay.
This
People
is-
are
If you
gonna-
want to speed this up, we can just check all the doors
Well,
right now.
I'm just trying to raise the scene a little. Like people are gonna die and starve if we don't get food.
Yeah.
So Thragtusk is kind of coming up to this door.
Let's go.
I've got your back. Ready for anything.
As you are about to open this door, you hear the sounds of squeaking behind it.
And Thragtusk cares why.
He doesn't.
Yeah, we're opening the door.
Just open the door.
You open the door to the pantry. It's become a filthy, reeking layer of what must be hundreds, if not thousands, of rats. Swaths of fur cling to everything, and mounds of rat droppings cover the floor. As they see the light from the torch, they all look up, and now they begin, like an oily mess, screeching forward towards you. And if
Throw
you
the torch
guys
into the
Oh
room.
shit!
I was
If
gonna
you
do the same
guys-
thing.
could roll initiative.
I love it.
God.
Love it.
I can roll a 0 on initiative.
Oh, no.
You're so dexterous.
Thragtusk's plan is not to be the one that strikes first, but to be the one that is the last one striking. I mean, they're just rats.
They're just rats.
They're just rats, he says.
Each one of these things rolled initiative.
It's like millions of rats, okay? It's not just some rats.
All right, Agari, what are you doing as they're coming skittering out towards you, all squeaking, flesh rotting, the smell overwhelming?
Agari will back up away from the room. And will try and cast Chill Touch towards the rats as he spins his staff in his hands, and it slams into the ground. And as it does, some blue and purple energy move through the stone out to the rats and begins to try to eat away at them. Oh, I rolled to GM, sorry, but it was
That's
a
all right.
23.
I mean, I know. I am the GM, so I do see it. So we're good to go there. 23 to hit. And that will definitely hit with 6 necrotic damage as these swarming rats all flying over each other like some swath, this painting of living beings are now being torn away by necrotic hands and energy. 6, yes, very good. Good shit. They're ripping away pieces of fur and flesh dropping to the floor. Are you doing anything else?
I think we're going to stick with that for now. See how this pans out.
Rowan, there's a lot of rats in here.
I'm well aware. Well, Rowan knows there's not a whole lot he can do against so many tiny bodies, and they don't seem to be afraid of fire. So, how far away can he step back from them while still be within range of the glaive? I can't see them on the map.
If you can't see him, you can't hit him. There's a wall between you. Thragtusk is kind of blocking the only entrance in and out.
Well, if they're coming out through the wall, or starting to come out through the door, they're about to.
Yes.
The only thing that I can do is, let's see if this stops them in any way. I'll just throw my torch at the entrance of the door and make them at least like hop over that or try and climb over it or whatever.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
This thing down there. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, here, I'll just leave that. I will leave it
The
right
torch
there.
goes out. We are
The
in
torch
complete
might
darkness.
go out.
The torch fucking goes out.
It's okay.
Alright.
Rowan is glowing, so.
Alright, now
Yes.
I will. Beyond that, I will take a step back, but stand next to Erkan, sort of keep the entrance blocked off, and I will wait.
That he is glowing, isn't he? What, 10, 20 feet? Yes.
I believe
20
that.
foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet.
Oh, for an additional 20 feet.
So it's-
Damn.
Yeah.
So it's 40 feet.
I am the envoy of the storm.
This.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. So as you step back, throw your torch, your glowing form with your battle-ready glaive, waiting for the rats to come out. Rakah.
Can I see past?
You can see past him, yes. He's not taking up the whole thing.
Okay.
But
so
he
is
will
this
give a little bit of
wall?
Yes.
Okay. Let me cast Shatter, centered on the back wall.
Raka, from your hand, a sphere of oscillating energy flows forth, flies over Thragtusk's right shoulder, enters the room, and everybody hears this sound that just hits you in the chest. Boom! And even the dust from the ceiling and the walls explode out, and the rats inside squeak in pain, and one of them almost seems done for.
One of the thousands or one of the bunches?
One of the large swaths. There's okay. we understand each other. There's two large groups you can see. So
Did the shatter only hit one of the groups?
it hit both of them. Oh, they both have to make Constitution saving throws. You're right. Okay, well, it's correct. I did it right. So, all right.
Well, seeing the ground writhing and the walls moving as filthy fur descends upon him,
I'll step backward.
Thragtusk, I guess, will let go of the door. Can he attack this one then?
Yeah, you can see half of them.
Yeah, he'll let go of the door and pull out his axe. Because really munching a door wasn't good enough for today. So he'll just start bringing it down onto the rock, seeing if he can get as many as he can.
All right. Give me you just using a what is it?
My battle axe.
You're using a battle axe. You're turning it sideways. Awesome. Give me an attack roll, and we'll use bludgeoning. 13 is definitely enough to hit them.
Yeah.
9 bludgeoning.
He can't miss. They're everywhere. He's just kind of cackling to himself. He's just kind of cackling to himself, just bringing it up and down on him.
As they smash under your might, their bones are brittle and tiny, and their bodies give way like a rotten grape. It smells 30 times as bad, but Thragtusk seems to be enjoying himself. As gore and worse things are painted across the walls. Are you doing anything else, Thragtusk?
That is all Thragtusk is doing.
All right. This little guy is going to come out. And I'm going to make him
Does that
be
enter,
right here.
Does that enter Rowan's range?
Yeah. So you
I
can use
shall
your... Yes.
Yes, I shall immediately. Wait, damn it. Here.
That definitely hits. For 7 slashing as you get a few as this pile moving over itself, this tapestry of rotten fur and horrible yellow-toothed rats. For 7 slashing. The rats are going to attack Thragtusk.
Thousands of attack rolls are thrown. Action economy is
They can
crazy.
have thousands of attack rolls, for they are not fighting a simple warrior. They are fighting Thragtusk.
And they miss, and Thragtusk is being sworn by rats, crawling up his legs, torso, arms, and chest as they biting and tearing. But Thragtusk is
They
not.
can bite into him. He will flex to shake him off.
Jesus Christ, they are no match for Thragtusk's muscles. And these swarm of rats will also come biting in, a unfurling mass of... They are doing nothing at all. They are just... nom nom nom.
Yes, come closer. You're easier to hit.
You see Thragtusk just almost a whirlwind, a tornado of flying rats and death.
I feel like we should have just closed the door. And he runs up and uses or starts spinning his staff around, lights up blue and purple as his shillelagh weapon. Only 4 bludgeoning damage, no poison on that roll.
Okay, and shillelagh is a magical weapon?
Yes, sir.
Nice. 4 bludgeoning damage as you come down on top of these rats' heads and bodies, breaking them.
That will end my turn.
All right, Rowan.
Rowan will step in. And there's not a whole lot of trickery here, but not to be outdone by Thragtusk. He merely takes careful aim through the crack of the door, thrusts in his glaive to see just how many of these little monsters he can skewer in one blow.
Not very many, as they seem to be evading all of their forms on top of Thragtusk. You can't get at any of them without fear of cutting Thragtusk himself, although you might not even mind, but you take a second to reevaluate your strike, not striking this time.
Yes, I shall take a second to reevaluate. And as soon as Thragtusk steps back a bit and I see an opening, I proc Action Surge and go again for another attack.
That one hits.
And I will add Menacing Strike to that and see if I can drive these little monsters back.
And you slash down what was Thragtusk's left arm as he reaches out with his battle axe to go kill another swath of these rats. You slice off 3 or 4 just right in half, coming within a few inches of Thragtusk's own arm.
That I'll bide my time.
Rakah.
Stand still! As I ready my Eldritch Blast. And I aim it at this one, closest to me, with the swarm
Perfect.
on him. Perhaps it shall shield him.
18, an Eldritch Blast. And if you'll forgive me for taking a little liberties here, as
Sure.
green and purple energies splice out in 8 different beams as they all pierce through multiple rat bodies on Thragtusk's back. Luckily, their bodies, with your precision, were just enough not to damage Thragtusk himself as they explode into little explosions of gore.
Thanks
And
forever.
this one actually, it looks like the rats have been cut in half in size. Okay, Thragtusk.
Thragtusk is smashing the ground, just using one arm to knock him off him, using his feet and his battle axe to smash him in the ground on the ones on the right. And then he realizes that there's just mush to his right. There aren't actually any moving rats. So he'll turn his focus to his left and begin operating on this group.
Operating.
Operating is such a good word.
As you slice through more and bludgeon others to the walls as they jump off of you, trying to gain purchase on your armor and hands and legs, you've almost thinned them completely. What was once a room filled with rats swarming over each other is now just 10, 15.
Well, we're not gonna stop. I mean, this is the good part.
And oh man, just 9, huh? Okay.
Just
that
9.
It looks like down here in the depths, Grummish's eyes not able to see you. And your
It's
attack
a little too reckless.
is just slightly too reckless as the battle axe's blade knocks off some of the stone and the sparks and stone fall to the ground. But the rats seem to have
Have
dodged to the side.
Thragtusk is gonna kind of collect himself a lot. Realize he was maybe a little more tactics are necessary.
Okay.
They don't coat the walls anymore. Maybe wild flailing isn't the answer.
Halo spores at the start of their turn as a reaction. As I send out purple essence from the mushrooms on the top of my staff towards the rats.
Alrighty. They do fail. And that is necrotic damage.
Big old 3.
As necrotic damage courses through them, more of the last 15 are now thinned out to 5. But these last 5, they aren't giving up yet. They want to make one more attack, it looks like. One more last-ditch effort to try and eat and bite and kill this monstrous half-orc. And...
21 hits.
One of them gets under his armor, I guess.
One of them jumps underneath the armors and crawling inside near your skin and bites. And you take 8 piercing damage. Now, Thragtusk, if you could also give me a con save, but you should be fine. Yeah, you're fine. As you feel something pierce into your body through the bite, it makes you feel sick. It almost... You're not this weak, so you just feel slightly sick for 1 second, but you get over it. Agari.
Those last ones there, I will try to shillelagh off with my staff. Oof. No bueno.
You killed 1 or 2 more as you smash them into just little motes of blood and guts, but there's still one on top of Thragtusk's shoulder and one underneath his armor.
Yeah, that's my action. So, I'll yeah, wait to see what happens next.
Rowan.
You say there's some on Thragtusk and some still in the door?
No, they're all just on Thragtusk.
Alright, well, I imagine the numbers are thinning a little bit, so I'm simply going to try a precision strike and see if I can pick off the last few.
Alrighty.
I can just see, like, kind of Thragtusk and Rowan reaches out, and they just, like, chest bump and, like, just squish the rat that's under Thragtusk's armor.
Oh yeah.
Hearty hug. And what was once a diseased rat is now being leaving a long juicy trail down Thragtusk's stomach and pants. Surely the gore beneath will be something to behold in a few moments. But
Good one, Run. I couldn't catch that one.
No worries. I have to admit, this time around it was almost fun.